We're back. The Camper Report. Your man Benjamin. It is a late one on my side of things right now, 10:30 Mountain Time. So if you guys are still up on the East Coast, hats off to you guys. But man, it's been 6 months since we have gone live. It's been a while since I've done one of these. It really has. Um, and I'm coming back. I'm coming back strong. Gonna lay out my plans for the future to you guys. Um, I'm going to kind of get you guys caught up on what I've been doing the last 6 months since I've been gone. I think it's been 6 or 7 months. I'd have to look up my last video that I posted though. But yeah, I mean, it's good to be here, guys. I'm definitely grateful for the last 6, 7 months that I've had. It's been a journey, a ride, and I think we should waste no time. I mean, hey, drop your comments if you want to see me talk football. That wasn't my complete plan. I was going to talk a little bit of football, but I was just kind of doing this stream to kind of get you guys caught up into what I'm doing. And then, yeah, definitely talk some football for sure. Let me just quickly put this banner in, everyone. So thank you for joining me. The first live in over 6 months, which is crazy. I'd actually have to look up my last video that I did. Which, by the way, which brings me to StreamYard is definitely changed quite a bit since I've been on. And I will probably be switching live providers because StreamYard has switched things up on me a little bit, which has been kind of, I'll say it, shitty to get used to. So I'll probably be going live with a different provider. Let me just quickly put that in. So drop your comments if you want to see me talk football. But what have I been up to the last? Let me first look up when was my last video posted. It has been a long time. So my last live was March 13th, which would be, yeah, six months ago. And then my last video posted was March 3rd. So let me know if my audio is working all good. But yeah, so it's been about 6 months, a little over 6 months. But what have I been up to within the last 6 months? So basically, I went into track season. I stopped doing this channel around about when I went into track season. Did very well. I think I accomplished a lot of things going into my junior year of track, and did a lot. Was training very hard, and I definitely saw some of my hard work come into fruition during my track season. And then went into the summer, was working close to 50 hours a week, some weeks. Most of the time it was just 40 hours a week, as well as my parents left to Italy for 3 months, and I was taking care of their property a little bit, and kind of just life got to me a little bit. As well as I've been the summer plus, I mean, we're right now into fall, but like this summer was I was just looking at a ton of schools. I was contacting a bunch of coaches because if you guys are friends with me or know me closely, I want to go to college for running. I want to hopefully get a scholarship for it. So going into the summer, I was just really kind of trying to train as much as I could for running, if you guys don't know. And I was really just trying to contact as many coaches as I could. And then this fall, obviously been doing cross country, which is my other sport, and have definitely gotten some new leads on which college I'll go to. But that's kind of what I've been doing since I stopped doing this channel. Definitely it's been busy for sure, but I can definitely manage out time. Going forward, I was hoping to make about 1 to 2 well-edited videos a week during the summer that I could put out to you guys, but that kind of fell through. So now I'm just trying to get back to maybe doing 1 live show a week, which will be cool, maybe on the weekends or something like that. So, that's kind of my last 6 months. It's been a ride for sure. There's been a lot of things that I've learned, a lot of things that I can take away from outside of this channel, but it's been a fun ride. I think accomplished a lot. And yeah, that's kind of been the last 6 months for me. The summer was honestly pretty boring. I'm not going to lie. It was literally just work and training for cross country. So, but it was fun. I like it. I like it. So, um, but yeah, that's kind of the last 6 months. Going forward, I'm going to try to do a live show, going to try to get guests back on. I honestly cannot wait. This channel definitely was a big part of me for a while, and then I kind of stepped away from it. And so for a while, what I haven't been telling you guys is for a while I've been doing music and kind of just getting into that side of things, which I don't know. I think with music, it was kind of a way for me to connect closer to myself. It was a way to express my emotions more, just like, I don't know, it almost was like a therapy session for me. This is like one of the keyboards that I bought. I don't know, my hold on, I don't know if I can show you guys right there, and then I got another one back there. So I got into that for a while, and for the longest time I was doing that, still am doing it. And you'll probably, maybe I'll post something about the music that I've been making. So that was kind of what I was doing over the summer as well. I thought about coming back, doing the channel many different times, but it never really worked out. Never really came to fruition. And so yeah, I stuck with music for a while, and that definitely got me a few places. I was linking up with a few producers, and that will probably, you guys will probably see some future things that I've been working on that end of things. It's definitely been fun for sure. But yeah, guys, let's talk about the Niners. They have a big game tomorrow with the Rams. 2:25 Mountain Time, I believe it is. I'm going to be watching it. I usually work on Sundays. I actually took tomorrow off to watch this game. And the story for the Niners is they have a crazy amount of injuries. You got Nick Bosa questionable, Charvarius Ward is questionable. You've got Christian McCaffrey obviously out. You've got Deebo Samuel. Sorry, guys. Deebo Samuel also out. You've got, did I say George Kittle out already? So obviously JP Mason filled in nicely the last few weeks for Brock Purdy, but tomorrow you face a Rams team that is also very banged up. They have no Puka Nacua, no Cooper Kupp. Is Kyron Williams even playing? I don't know. Their entire offensive line is injured, I'm pretty sure. So you're also, I mean, this is going to be really a game where both teams are like extremely injured, and it's probably going to be a bloodbath because we don't know what's going to happen because both teams don't have their best players on the field. So it's kind of like a little bit disappointing because when I originally looked at this game on the schedule, it was week 3. I was like, oh shit, this is going to be like a big time, prime time game that is going to be exciting to watch. And now with all these injuries, I'm like, well, I don't know how good it's actually going to be. But the big story for Brock Purdy in this game is last game, a little bit exposed by Brian Flores and that Vikings defense. Can the Niners find ways to kind of, especially Brock Purdy, but Kyle Shanahan, I need them to find ways to kind of navigate around all those injuries that we are having. I also want Trent Williams. I mean, there's so many people on that team, on the 49ers team right now that are just not in true form, not in last year's form. Brandon Ayuk, very rusty. We've seen that. Trent Williams, very rusty. We've seen that. He gave up, I believe it was 2 sacks last week, or it wasn't normal Trent Williams. So ultimately it's going to be up to Brandon Ayuk, Trent Williams, Kyle Shanahan, Brock Purdy to prove to me that they can live without the other core players on this offense. And I think they can. I mean, the Rams defense is nowhere near as good as the Vikings defense of last week. But at the same time, the Rams do have kind of an edge because they have a very similar system as the Niners. They know what the Niners run. So I'm going to be interested to see how this game plays out, because in the past, the reason why, I mean, the 49ers have been banged up playing the Rams in the past, but the 49ers have always, the Rams kryptonite is Deebo Samuel. It really is. And now that he's out, it's like, well, the 49ers, they don't have Deebo Samuel, and that's really a guy that has really hurt the Rams in the past. So how are they going to kill the Rams another way? I want to see Brandon Ayuk get more targets. Obviously, JP Mason is going to be a huge factor in this game. And man, I knew that he was going to break out. I remember talking to somebody when Christian McCaffrey was originally ruled out for the Jets game, talking to somebody saying, he was like, well, did you hear Christian McCaffrey's out? And I'm like, yeah, we're good. Because I had been following training camp all throughout the summer. I had been following last year too. It was kind of a crime that JP Mason didn't get on the field last summer more. But I had been following kind of just his progression as a player. He's in his second year now. Kind of, let me tell you guys a background if you don't know. Most Niners fans will already know. Came out of Georgia Tech as a running back. He was an undrafted free agent, got picked up by the Niners last year. Immediately, the style of his play is he runs hard. He doesn't give a shit about taking hits or anything. Like, he is a very physical player, which is the Niners brand of football. And he is fast, can hit the holes. A lot of people this is so cliche at this point, but a lot of people compare him to Marshawn Lynch. That's a perfect comparison. Runs hard, isn't the biggest player, but like, you are afraid to tackle him because he's going to put you in the hospital probably. So, JP Mason, Jordan Mason, undrafted free agent, didn't get many carries last year. And that was mainly, according to the 49ers run game coordinator, that was mainly because he just didn't know the system enough. And we've heard that. Kyle Shanahan's system's really hard to run, so it takes a players a few years to actually become a star in this system. But it brings up a question to me. Now that JP Mason is doing so well, does that make Christian McCaffrey expendable in a way? Like, do we get rid of Christian McCaffrey obviously we just extended him, we gave him more guaranteed money, but let's say after this year we don't win a Super Bowl, we're looking to shake things up, and we maybe trade Christian McCaffrey or something. I mean, he's 29, especially after the season he had last year. I don't see him repeating that. I mean, that was an all-time great season. We ran him into the ground. He had more touches than anyone in the league, and he doubled the next person next to him. Like, he had the most touches in the league by far, by any player, skill position player, by far, Christian McCaffrey did. So we kind of ran him into the ground a little bit. I'm not surprised he's having injury issues, because last year was a complete and total mismanagement of Christian McCaffrey. But it makes me wonder if we can find some type of replacement for him, JP Mason, and then maybe bring in another guy. Do we consider moving on from Christian McCaffrey, even though we just gave him loads of money? That's kind of an interesting thing that I don't think I think we're overlooking that a little bit. So that could be interesting for sure. But as far as JP Mason goes, I mean, I want the Rams defensive line run stopping is not good. So that plays majorly into the 49ers' favor. They can run the heck out of the ball with JP Mason, just like they did with the Jets. And, the way the 49ers get this pass game going is the play action. That's the only way it's going to work. With Brandon Ayuk, hopefully our backup, what's his name? What's the 49ers backup tight end? Came from the Cardinals last year. Backup to George Kittle. Hopefully he can do something in the passing game, because we'll need that. We will need that. Hold on. 49ers depth chart. So let's see here. Eric Sobert. There it is. There it is. So hopefully Eric Sobert can do something. Kyle Juszczyk has kind of been part of the scheme as well the last few weeks, a lot more than he's ever been in his career. So him as well. Yeah, and it's really just going to have to depend on, I mean, Chris Conley is going to be a big one. He did well in camp. We really haven't seen much work from him. Chris Conley is a good receiver, so we'll see. I mean, I think it'll be enough to beat a very banged up Rams team who, frankly, is 0-2. They're desperate, but we still have more talent than them. And a Rams team that, yes, they know our flaws, but I don't think they can expose them like the Vikings can. I think Brian Flores that was the most overlooked thing about last week is Brian Flores has Kyle Shanahan's number. You go back to there's about a handful of defensive coordinators that have Kyle Shanahan's number in the league, and that's Spagnuolo, the Chiefs defensive coordinator. That's Brian Flores, the Vikings defensive coordinator. And then that is Jim Schwartz. Wait, is that his name? The Browns defensive coordinator. Those three teams, Vikings, Browns, and Chiefs, have all held the 49ers to 20 or below points when they faced them last year. The Browns, I think the 49ers scored 17 last year. The Vikings, the 49ers scored, I think that game they scored like 21. So both those three teams really have Kyle Shanahan's number. But other than that, I think the other defensive coordinators, other defenses in this league maybe haven't figured out the 49ers scheme yet. And so I'm kind of betting on the fact that, yes, the Rams maybe know what the 49ers are going to do, but like years past, they're not going to be able to stop it, which I think that's pretty realistic. Any bright sides so far that I've seen from this year, really, I want to say it's the right guard. I mean, Dominic Pooney, huge upgrade, pass protection wise, and the run game has hugely improved that from last year from Spencer Burford and whoever the guy they had in there last year at right guard. Dominic Pooney, way better than any of those guys. He was a rookie. We drafted him in the third round from Kansas. He's played every single position along the offensive line, but we put him at right guard, and he's shined. He really has. He's one of the best performing rookies graded by PFF this year so far. So, I mean, what a steal in the draft, third round. And he's going to probably be a perennial starter for us. So what a gem that we got in him. And so that's kind of been a big deal. But I mean, the 49ers are still not good against the blitz. We saw a lot of pressure last week from Brian Flores and that Vikings defense. Not at all good against the blitz. But we'll see. We'll see going forward what the Rams try to do to them tomorrow. I'll definitely be paying close attention to that game. Like I said, I work most of the time on Sundays. So a lot of times I'm probably not going to be watching the 49ers game very closely, which means I'll have to go back and watch it over again, which kind of sucks. But not all show is going to be about the Niners. That's the thing. So we'll see. We'll see how this goes. I'm trying to think of anything else I can talk about. We could talk about fantasy real quick. Fantasy, in a word, I did my Dynasty League for the first time ever. Dynasty is basically where you draft and you have future draft picks. You can trade up in the draft. And it's basically like you have this league and that league stays for like 10 years. And so you want to draft players for the future because you basically draft and then your core players you keep for years. Usually fantasy is just a one-off thing, 1 year, and then you're done. This is like you keep the league going. You keep the players going on your roster. So that was kind of interesting. I set myself up well, though. I mean, I got Bijan, I got Amon-Ra St. Brown, CJ Stroud, Nico Collins. I got a good core group of guys for that league. And so far I'm doing well. One of my leagues, which is the paid ESPN league, I am 2-0, and then the Dynasty League that I was telling you about, I am 1-1. But I scored 160 points in that league last year, and it's a regular PPR league, I believe. Let me just show you guys, though. This is my ESPN league that I'm doing with a few friends of mine. Shout out of Pocket Sports. If you're watching, go check them out. Out of Pocket Sports. Great channel to support. That's who I'm doing the ESPN league. I don't know if you guys can read that. Is it coming into focus? But I'm seeing the Sentinels football channel coming in here. So what do you think about tomorrow's game? Just kind of covered that. But yeah, I think we beat them. I mean, you know, both teams are super injured, but what the hell are the Rams going to actually be able to do with their two top receivers missing? I mean, I know that they've got like Tyler Johnson, and they've kind of got like two okay backups in Robinson and Johnson, but like in their wide receivers. But I mean, their offensive line, it's really going to have to depend. If Charvarius Ward and Nick Bosa don't play, they're both questionable. If they don't play, then we might actually lose. If they do, though, I mean, dude, how the heck do the Rams stop us or get anywhere on offense? I know Matthew Stafford's great, but at the same time, we are good against non-mobile quarterbacks, and he is not a mobile quarterback, not for the most part. So, but the Rams are more desperate because they're 0-2. Now, the Niners, I think, are desperate too. This is a divisional game, so both teams are going to be desperate. And then offensively, I think the easy thing would just be, copy what the Vikings did last week. But at the same time, I don't think the Rams have the defensive firepower to get even close to what the Vikings did last week. And then I said JP Mason. I mean, Rams run game, terrible. JP Mason really going to have to depend how much they use him and how much they get creative ways to get it to the other running backs, other core players. And this is really just a big test game for Brock Purdy and Kyle Shanahan to see how they perform without Christian McCaffrey and Deebo Samuel on the field. So, and Jawan Jennings, Chris Conley, we have more than enough weapons. That's not my worry. It's just we don't seem to. Our offense was literal stagnant at times last week. But to be fair, though, our offense became stagnant. But at first, it wasn't really like that. Like, we got stopped at the 1 yard line on the goal line, and that was early in the game. So our offense kind of, by a few missed opportunities, like I think we really could have won that game last week. But there was just a few missed opportunities during that game. Damn, my chair is fucking squeaking. There was a few missed opportunities during that game that kind of set us up for the rest of the game early in that game, especially the fourth and goal stop at the 1 yard line that the Vikings made on us. So McVay could pull some gadget plays and ballsy moves on fourth down. Yeah, I mean, he's going to have to be aggressive to win this game. I hate when we play prevent defense, blitz. Yes. I mean, we have a first-year defensive coordinator. He's probably figuring it out. I also do not like Brandon Staley. I don't care if he had one good year as a defensive coordinator for the Rams on a stacked Rams defense. I freaking hate that man. Don't know why we hired him. Probably because he's Kyle Shanahan's friend. But yeah, it looked. Yes, it did. It did. But what have I been doing? I mean, other than that, kind of broke down the Niners game a little bit. What have I been doing to prepare for college? Dude, I didn't think how the college preparation, all the stuff you have to do is crazy. But preparing for college is definitely making me grow up a lot faster than I wanted to. That's for sure. It's been a lot of, I'm studying for SATs right now. It's been a lot of I went through this, shout out to this organization, NCSA. They help you kind of get matched with different recruiters from different schools. But yeah, it's definitely preparing for college has definitely been something different for sure. But yeah. And then earlier today, I was hitting a workout. Yeah, different things like that for sure. Been trying to stay consistent in the gym, which during the summer was sometimes tough when I was working quite a bit, but I made it work. I am a student athlete. Yes. I do track and cross country. So track in the spring, cross country in the fall. Yeah. And I mean, again, I kind of detailed a little bit of that at the beginning of the show. So, but yeah, it's been fun, guys. It really has. First live in, I said before, first live in 6 months. So that's been a ride. This has been a ride for sure. I definitely miss it. So next week, potentially maybe this week, but like I said, hopefully once a week I can go live. I wanted to, at the beginning of the show, I said this, I wanted to do a few videos per week. During the summer, I was thinking of doing a few videos per week that are very well edited. But now it's like I don't really have time for that. So probably once a week a live, maybe bring on a guest for like an hour or so and we can talk some football. But hopefully this week, if I find some time to do it, maybe I'll react to the Niners game tomorrow. You know what? That's probably what I'll do. So join me tomorrow. I probably will go live to react to that Niners game tomorrow. Cal or Stanford? Like I haven't, like, as far as what football programs, like which one do I like more on that side of things, or like the actual like programs as far as running goes? I didn't really look. So I kind of didn't tell you guys at the beginning of the show. Probably I live in Colorado now, but we'll probably be going back east to go to college. I want to move back to some of my other family that is out there. But I have applied to a lot of schools out east. And I'm hopefully going to get some coaches interested in me from out there. Not really too, I don't really want to go West Coast. So, have you applied? No, I have not. I didn't really look at a lot of West Coast schools. Mainly the schools I went to, I applied to or looked at were Colorado State. I mean, the biggest thing for me is the running program good? Is the coach has the coach had success? Has the team had success in recent years? Are they in state? Are they? I mean, because usually in-state intuition or whatever, no, and not tuition fees are lower when you're in state. So mainly Colorado, I looked East Coast, Virginia, North Carolina, South Carolina, Pennsylvania, Ohio. And then I've heard a lot of good things about Creighton, the college in Omaha, Nebraska. So yeah, that's kind of the main places where I'm looking. I do not think I am in the Olympics. That realm, not even close. I don't even think so. But I'd say I've done enough to kind of get me attention at the next level. But we'll see. We'll see. It's all gonna pan out. I'll try to keep you guys updated. If you guys want to hear more, like maybe each live show, I'll kind of designate a section to updating you guys on what's happening with my running career. Right? That could be an option as well. That'd be fun. But other than that, yeah, I'll mostly be Niners, sports, NFL. Yeah. So guys, have a good rest of your night, everyone. It is 11 where I'm at, and it is hella late on the East Coast. So you guys have a good night. We got to 30 minutes on this stream. Have a good night, everyone. I'll try to see you guys hopefully tomorrow for a reaction stream with the Niners and Rams if I am not occupied by other things. All right. Have a good one, everyone.